8 non-Vulcan Star Trek characters can do Spock's nerve pinch. Since Leonard Nimoy's Spock introduced Star Trek's Vulcan nerve pinch, several other characters have managed to execute the move. Leonard Nimoy himself came up with the idea of the Vulcan nerve pinch for Star Trek, the original series Season 1, Episode 5, The Enemy Within. In the original script, Spock was supposed to knock out the evil version of Captain James T. Kirk, William Shatner, by hitting him. Nimoy felt that Spock and Vulcans would have a more dignified way of rendering someone unconscious than a bonk on the head. The Vulcan nerve pinch works by applying pressure to a specific area at the base of the neck, immediately rendering the recipient of the pinch unconscious. Although Vulcans are the species that perfected the technique, a few others have managed to learn how to perform the nerve pinch with various levels of effectiveness. Some humans learned the move from their Vulcan friends, while others perfected it after sharing a mind meld or Katra with a Vulcan. The nerve pinch seems to require a combination of strength and technique that is difficult to master. In Star Trek's Take on Die Hard, Captain Jean-Luc Picard channels his inner John McClane to take on a group of would-be thieves aboard the USS Enterprise D. With the Enterprise scheduled to undergo a dangerous decontamination process using a baryon sweep, the entire crew must evacuate the ship. However, as Picard is about to leave, he encounters a man named Devore Tim Russ, who claims to be performing last-minute maintenance. When Devore tries to attack Picard from behind, Picard fights back, using a Vulcan nerve pinch to disable Devore. Picard questions Devore when he awakens, but the mercenary refuses to talk. Although Picard does not mention where he learned to perform the Vulcan nerve pinch, he presumably gained the knowledge after his mind melded with Ambassador Sarek, Mark Leonard, in Star Trek The Next Generation Season 3, Episode 23, Sarek. Star Trek The Next Generation Season 5's Unification two-parter brought Ambassador Spock, Leonard Nimoy, face-to-face with Captain Picard. When the captain of the Enterprise is sent to search for the missing ambassador, Picard discovers that Spock has taken on a personal mission of peace to reunify the Romulan and Vulcan peoples. Unification also sees the return of Sela Denise Crosby, the half-Romulan daughter of LT, Tasha Yar, whose plan of Romulan conquest is ultimately thwarted by Picard, Data, and Spock. In the second half of Unification, Data uses the Vulcan nerve pinch to knock out Sela, prompting Spock to respond, "Not bad." Ambassador Spock had demonstrated the nerve pinch earlier against a Romulan guard, which is where Data likely picked up the technique. Data also uses a nerve pinch to take out a Reman guard in Star Trek Nemesis. With his superior strength and access to any research on the topic, it's not particularly surprising that Data can perform the nerve pinch as well as Vulcans. The Vulcan nerve pinch, often referred to simply as the nerve pinch, is one of the most iconic techniques in the Star Trek universe. Originally mastered by Spock, it's a simple yet powerful maneuver that can incapacitate an opponent with a mere touch to the shoulder or neck. But what if other non-Vulcan characters in the Star Trek universe could harness this skill? Here's a creative exploration of 8 such characters who, despite their species or backgrounds, could feasibly pull off Spock's famous nerve pinch. 1. Jean-Luc Picard, human. As captain of the USS Enterprise D, Jean-Luc Picard's strength lies in his intellect, diplomacy, and calm demeanor under pressure. While Picard isn't known for being the most physical of Starfleet officers, he possesses a deep understanding of both tactical strategy and alien cultures. In his younger years, especially during his time at Starfleet Academy and early career in security, Picard would likely have been exposed to numerous alien combat techniques, including the Vulcan nerve pinch. His ability to quickly adapt to new information, combined with a disciplined mind, suggests that with some Vulcan tutoring, he could effectively learn this skill. Picard's calm focus would allow him to execute the pinch in a crucial moment, perhaps to defuse a high-tension situation without resorting to phasers. 2. Data, android. As an android with advanced strength and reflexes, Data could master the nerve pinch with little difficulty. Data's superhuman processing power would allow him to analyze the precise neural points that the pinch affects and replicate it perfectly every time. Moreover, Data's profound curiosity about human and alien behavior might lead him to explore Vulcan techniques as part of his quest to better understand sentient life forms. With his mechanical precision, Data could incapacitate opponents swiftly, and his ethical subroutines would ensure that he used the technique only when absolutely necessary, making him an ideal candidate to learn and apply the nerve pinch. 3. 7 of 9, Human/Borg. 7 of 9, the former Borg drone, is another character who could potentially use the Vulcan nerve pinch. Her Borg-enhanced strength and vast knowledge of various species' anatomy make her a formidable opponent. Although 7's demeanor can be cold and calculating, she has the precision necessary to master the nerve pinch, understanding it as a non-lethal method to neutralize a threat. Her Borg implants could even enhance her ability to perform the nerve pinch with pinpoint accuracy. In a scenario where 7 needed to avoid combat escalation, she might see the nerve pinch as a logical, efficient solution, applying it with the same calm detachment she used when assimilated. 4. Odo, Changeling. As the shape-shifting chief of security on Deep Space Nine, Odo has mastered the art of transformation and control over his own physical form. This ability would allow him to apply Spock's nerve pinch in a way unique to his species. Odo could alter his hand or fingers to perfectly mimic the precise pressure needed to disrupt neural activity in his opponent. His years as a security officer, combined with his natural investigative skills, would make him keenly aware of the benefits of subduing a subject without causing harm. Odo's fluid shape-shifting abilities could allow for an unexpected application of the nerve pinch, perhaps in a form of surprise during an altercation. 5. Worf, Klingon. As a Klingon, Worf prefers direct, honorable combat, often with his bat'leth or his fists. However, Worf is also a Starfleet officer, and he understands the value of non-lethal force. Though nerve pinching doesn't align with traditional Klingon combat methods, Worf's tactical training in Starfleet and his respect for other cultures might lead him to study the Vulcan nerve pinch. His immense strength would mean that once trained, he could easily apply the necessary pressure to render his opponents unconscious. Though Worf might feel conflicted about using such a passive technique, he'd likely view it as a practical alternative in situations where lethal force or intense violence would be unnecessary or dishonorable. 6. The Doctor Hologram. The emergency medical hologram, more commonly known simply as the Doctor from Star Trek Voyager, could easily replicate the nerve pinch with medical precision. With access to a vast database of anatomical knowledge from various species, the Doctor could quickly learn and apply the technique. In a medical emergency or a situation where non-violent resolution is needed, the Doctor could use the nerve pinch to disable an aggressor without harming them. His ethical programming, combined with his ability to instantly process new information, makes him an ideal candidate to use the nerve pinch in controlled scenarios. 7. Tuvok, Vulcan. While not a non-Vulcan, Tuvok's mastery of the nerve pinch is an extension of his deep commitment to logic and discipline. Tuvok's adherence to Vulcan principles of control and peace makes him a proficient user of the technique. His calm demeanor and tactical wisdom would serve as a model for others in Starfleet, making him a natural teacher of the nerve pinch to his non-Vulcan colleagues. 8. Michael Burnham, human. Raised on Vulcan and fostered by Spock's parents, Michael Burnham was exposed to Vulcan teachings from a young age. Burnham's deep connection to Vulcan philosophy and training makes her an ideal candidate to perform the nerve pinch. Her time spent living with Vulcans, coupled with her Starfleet combat experience, would allow her to seamlessly incorporate the nerve pinch into her own tactical repertoire. Her logical mindset,